Alright, boys and girls, we have game number 3 coming up. So it's actually like the third map between Never Lucky and the Sandwich Monkeys. We haven't really had the chance to cast the other 2 games because we were still stuck in another series, but we're waiting for those 2 to determine who's going up against My Insanity in the next round. So at this point, let's see who's going to take it. So the last map, we're going to cover that at least. We have Infernal Shrines as the map. Illidan banned out by Never Lucky immediately, and the Sandwich Monkeys with their new and reformed lineup after the regional finals in Leicester. They're banning out Falstead. I'm joined by AntiHero, and we're going to bring you the coverage for this third game, of course, for the rest of the qualifier too. But yeah, a bit curious to see how exactly Never Lucky is going to start into the draft now. We could see an early Kel'Thas pick, very popular these days, but there's a couple of choices that they actually have in the situation now.
Yeah, again we see the Illidan and Falstead bans, which we saw quite a lot here, denying the global, denying the strong hero Illidan, and the Kel'Thas pickup, as you already mentioned. He's really strong here just to get the AoEs, throw the skeletons on the shrine itself, and then the Tassadar and Sonya pickup, which is also quite a good pickup on this map to clear the shrine skeletons, which we already saw in an earlier series today, so not really surprising on that map, but let's see how Never Lucky approaches this double pick here.
It's a really popular comp to go for. If you don't get the Kel'Thas, the Sonya plus Tassadar makes a whole lot of sense. You go into the double support and enable Sonya to go really deep. Never Lucky, they have of course a couple of options of how to play it. You can look for synergy with Kel'Thas. We've seen this Death Zone attempt where you try to add a Tyrande with the Starfall, but overall on this map in particular we had a huge priority for Stitches too. It's one of those maps where Dignitas, for example, has been starting to play him a lot more since the Slam build is incredibly powerful here. Other teams like Na'Vi have played him in the past with high priority on Infernal Shrines as well. And they actually secure themselves an early Rhaegar, which kind of makes sense if you think about it. The Sandwich Monkeys, they want to have a good support. With Never Lucky already picking Rhaegar, they have the chance to ban out Uther if they want to deny additional heals to Sonya, would force the Sandwich Monkeys into a bit of a different process. And with Stitches already in the mix, a Lunara ban is something that we actually have seen a couple of times. Of course, again, we are in the third map, so we don't really know what happened on the last 2 maps. There could be a couple of target picks and bans coming in that we can't really explain properly because we haven't seen Game 1 and Game 2 in this series.
Yeah, we saw already My Insanity in an earlier series picking up Stitches, KT Diablo on this map with the Lunara as well, and getting Leoric. This time we have Stitches. So it's kind of a composition which might resemble that one in the end if they would have gotten the Lunara. Banning it out pretty smart against the Stitches, who's most likely gonna go Slam build on this map. And I think Never Lucky should pick up another tank and maybe deny a good healer to TSaM. But they decide to ban out the Li Ming, trying to deny the burst damage she can give you on this map.
Yeah, Li Ming can, of course, she's not as good as on Infernal Shrines as she is on other maps, but she's still a very huge asset to a team. They could have banned out, of course, an Uther as well. Then again, with them already running a Kel'Thas, maybe going into a little bit more AoE damage, they might not be afraid of Uther's Divine Shield enabling Sonya. And Uther has sometimes problems dealing with huge AoE damage spells because, well, he has very on-point target heals that can especially help if you're trying to snipe a target away. Sandwich Monkeys, they have, of course, think about their heals right now. Do they add a Tyrande here? Do they add an Uther? If they don't go for the Tyrande, there's still a chance that Never Lucky says, hey, we pick her up. We have Stitches already. We want to get the lockdown and want to go for the snipe. It would also enable them to go Phoenix and Starfall. But the Sandwich Monkeys still need a little bit of range damage. And currently, with Li Ming banned out, with Lunara banned, Falstad banned, Kel'Thas taken, there are not that many options anymore, and Vala is probably the most vanilla pick in this scenario. That's also a very solid pick at the same time.
I would have liked the Sandwich Monkeys to pick up the Sylvanas here, trying to maybe get the poking going on the shrines itself, but it might have led to... They still need to pick another support, right? They cannot run the solo Tassadar, or teams didn't really run solo Tassadar recently. So if they get the Sylvanas here, they will need to take another healer and another tank. So solo damage Sylvanas might not be the biggest favor for them.
Mike D, thanks dude. Somebody apparently hoping for My Insanity to win, of course, here. Cheers, bro. But yeah, Malfurion pick.
So much I hate AntiHero in the past. So much I like now his cast. Nice work. Please continue. And you know, Gaz Lord Kill Murky.
Okay, so it seems like you have a new fan, Anti.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay,
so,
Gazlo comes in, not in the draft.
Not in the
Don't
game.
get too excited. Like we have Gazlo taking on Murky. He has not been drafted. We're not at that point. But as you already said, Antti, we have Malfurion now as a second healer. That's something they desperately needed here, right?
Yeah, they needed the healer, and thinking about Never Lucky, I would have said they either going into a Thrall composition, maybe picking up another tank here like Muradin to stun out the enemy heroes, like Sonya, which can use her Whirlwind on the shrine a lot. But Muradin kind of suffers on this map against the skeletons. You oftentimes don't want to get the Piercing Bolt because the battle momentum really gives you the cooldowns of your other spells back quicker, and on this map you kind of have to, because you really want to get the penetration on the one of the skeletons to hit someone through that, basically. So I don't see Muradin here, but maybe the ETC would be a solid option here. Looking at TSM, they only have Rain and Sonya. I don't call Silence Malfear, so I think only Sonya or Vala can interrupt ETC Moshpit if it's going to happen. And the stage dive might not be bad either, to just jump on top of the enemy team with Stitches and Thrall immediately in case you have to follow up burst.
What do you think about a Tyrande here?
Yeah, that's the second composition I thought about. Picking Tyrande here, getting the Stitches composition going with KT, Starfall and the Phoenix going on the shrines would have been really incredible here as well, but they thought maybe, yeah, Malf is an AoE healer, he can supply them with enough here. So they said, we want to get a different approach and go for a more aggressive style here.
Really aggressive style at that. I mean, Zeratul being picked now into a Tassadar on top of that. He's of course going to try and put the pressure on especially Vala and Malfurion. And that's an interesting approach. I didn't really think they would go for something like this. They can of course go a bit old school with a good hook and then avoid prison, isolating the rest of the team, or like isolating one hero. And Antti, I think you're going to have a good time here. We have a Chen being picked, and I mean, you're probably one of the most well-known Chen players in Europe, so right now, what do you think about that pick in this particular scenario?
I mean, I do have to say, to kind of not endanger my species, that Chen is always a great pick. But to be fair here, I feel like he might struggle against the enemy lineup. It's Infernal Shrines, they don't really have like there's not really like a dedicated 1v1 lane. Sometimes you have this top lane which is 1v1 scenarios, but with Zeratul here, I mean, Shen beats Thrall in lane, don't get me wrong, but if Zeratul is waiting in the shadows here, he might jump onto Shen and kind of get the pick-off going. So it's kind of risky in that regard, and also on the shrine itself, it's kind of weird to play Shen, right? You don't really want to drink when you get hit by AoE spells that much and might get hooked afterwards by Stitches. I feel like them getting maybe an ETC through here, especially against that many melee assassins, would have been maybe a better choice here overall.
It's definitely going to be an interesting game here. Keep in mind, guys, that the team who wins here advances to face My Insanity in the winner bracket semi-final. The losing team drops down into the loser bracket. So we're going to jump in right away on Infernal Shrines, the final map between Never Lucky and the Sandwich Monkeys, to find out which team is going to advance through the bracket. The third game, as already mentioned in this series, once again, guys, we didn't get the chance to cast the last two because we were in a different series, but at least we see the conclusion of this best of three. To the left side of the map, we currently have the Sandwich Monkeys with their new lineup. After Leicester, they let ETF on top and Lumpy go, and they added Bad Benny and Juve. The lineup here with Felox on Malfurion here today. We have ADRD on Tassadar, we see Bad Benny on Chen, Crosby on Vala, and we have Juve currently on Sonya. They're going up against Never Lucky, a team that you might not have heard of yet, but you've probably seen these players around. To the right side, we have Wolves on Thrall, Lumpy on Kelthas, playing against this old team, Laranas on Stitches, we have Kirsten on Rhaegar, and Akeside on Zeratul. The game is going to decide which team advances to face My Insanity in the winner bracket semi-final. The losing team is going to drop straight into the loser bracket, where they have another shot of qualifying for Dreamhack Tour. But definitely an interesting and very important match for both of these teams. Once again, I'm with AntiHero here today, and we're going to bring you the coverage in this third and deciding game in the best of three series.
Yeah, we see the teams clashing in the middle, pushing out the middle wave first, and we see the standard nowadays lane setup at the top with Thrall against Sonya. It's kind of a lane Thrall will dominate over time with his more sustain, and meanwhile we just see the teams rotating, gathering their globes here and then. Interesting, the Siphoning Arrow build on Vala here, maybe only against the double melee assassins. She feels like threatened against them and want to get a little bit more sustain for her going.
Yeah, Crosby actually played that already quite a bit in the past, but I think we have some very interesting talents here. Again, we're seeing block coming in on the two bruisers. We have one on Thrall and the other one on Sonya. Very important for both of them since they meet each other at the top lane, and it's a great early game talent in particular when you try to win your lane. But we also have now Convection taken on Lumpy's Kel'Thas. Talent that we don't see too often, but it's actually interesting to have this picked here once again. So yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting to see how exactly how much damage he's going to be able to dish out with this one. So a quest talent for him already taken on level 1.
So we've seen a lot of progress of Kel'Thas the recent days. We've seen the Mana Addict, we saw the what's the other one called? I'm sorry.
The Felon Fusion?
The Felon Fusion, yeah. And we now see the Convection. It's kind of a good choice on this map, I feel like. Oh, and Sonya dying at the top towards a gank of X-Side.
That's kind of what you already talked about earlier on. That Zeratul in the early game is of course always a huge threat to the solo laner, so to say, because Zeratul can always come in and try to still apply a kill for his team, and that's exactly what we've seen now. With level 4 talents coming in, we already have position on the shrine taken for Never Lucky, and the team so far is actually doing pretty well here. I mean, they get the lead in the minions, was perfect timing for the kill against Sonya, couldn't have gotten any better than that, and now we're having maybe Punisher #1 ending up in favor of the red team as a result.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting to see the Shen on this map, as you already mentioned in draft, and it's kind of, they lack the pressure on the fights itself right now. We cannot see the team of TSaM Monkeys going in and trying to get some of those skeletons. We see Juve just getting pressured and Lumpy getting engaged upon, but he's just fine and getting away. He might need to take a little drink from the well though.
Yeah, but that was of course also losing a bit more time for the Sandwich Monkeys, and that definitely secures the Arcane Punisher. Early Arcane Punisher does a bit more damage of course now, but still you shouldn't lose too much to the first Punisher in the game. We are seeing Crosby and Felix waiting behind the gate, where you should always position yourselves against Punishers, baiting it in and making sure that they are jumping in right now to burst it down. Level 4 talents, we've seen Venom on Thrall, we have the Netherwind taken now for the extra range. Stitches with a bit of a hybrid build actually. He is the solo tank for his team, has a Thrall next to him, but still decided to go into the Hungry for more, not for a full slam build in this setup.
And now we see that lane matchup I talked about earlier. The Shen against Thrall. Shen will win over time. He didn't went into the block, which is kind of like the easy way of playing that lane, where you can just pick up the block. And Thrall relies a lot on his auto attacks, and yeah, Phalux just sharing some immortal timer left to his enemy team, being a nice guy.
Yeah, exactly. So just making sure that everybody knows he doesn't only supply his own team with the information when the next shrine is going to spawn.
He's a true support player.
Yeah, he's definitely a support player. He doesn't only support his own team, but he supports the other team too. Going full meta on us here. It would actually be interesting, you know, if he quotes the wrong number and tries to play mind games with them.
That's a wrong number.
Next level right there.
Yeah, we see Citrus going into the slam bit later on. He didn't really fancy the level 1 talent as much, and we don't see him taking the extra toxic gas talent on level 7 as well. He just goes into the last bite. We've seen that a lot already on this map. You can eat those skeletons, kill them with it, and basically get free sustain on the fight itself.
It's definitely a great talent to take here. I think one of the heroes or one of the players that started with it was even Alex. When Stitches got, of course, reworked slightly. We have also follow-throughs now taken on 7 for 2 heroes, Thrall and Zeratul. On the other hand, when we're looking at the Sandwich Monkeys, it's the enduring growth after Elun's Grace. We're seeing Kala's Embrace, which is, of course, an incredibly important talent if you're playing with a Tacita as your support. The double support setup that we see for them is going to help, especially Sonya, who went into the Shattered Ground, the talent that is mostly picked on this map here, to give a bit more AoE damage so that he can pick up the additional minions during the Shrine fights. And we have the repeating arrow to kind of complete the arrow build, at least thus far. We have seen a few heroes or a few players going into even Tumblr on level 16, but if you do that, then normally you would go into the mana reduction on level 1, since if you don't use it, you can't really supply that with the mana pool that Bala has. You won't be able to get a lot out of it.
Yeah, again we see the situation at the shrine. Zeratul and Tacita being at the bottom now. Zeratul slowly rotating. ADRD still sticking around for another wave, but I feel like Team Sandwich Monkeys should just decide what they want to do now. Do they want to go for the shrine? Do they want to leave it? Or what are they going to plan here? It looks like they're doing a half approach basically. Tacita soaking and Joey just getting some of the skeletons, but it's really not working. They rather should have put another guy in the middle and just give up the top Punisher in my opinion here.
Yeah, the Punisher is definitely going to be taken by Never Lucky now. And Never Lucky actually does quite well here. Keep in mind, guys, that the Sandwich Monkeys going into this tournament was one of the favorite teams to make it to Dreamhack Tour and to qualify. And they did already... Well, they played in Leicester, they changed the lineup after that a little bit, they scrimmed a lot the past few days, but right now it's not only the third map between the two teams, but we are actually seeing a lead for Never Lucky, and Vala taken down. Oh my god, the Punisher jumping in deep, and Lumpy immediately using his Phoenix once he had the opportunity with the Heroics hitting. Very well played here by Never Lucky, and for Lumpy, of course, that must also be a very rewarding kill, considering that he's up against his whole team now.
Yeah, very nice pickup by Lumpy, following up through the wall with his spells when Vala got hit by the Punisher there. And now kind of the one level and the top cake going, but the unstoppable from Kirsten there with the cleanse. And basically a wasted cake against the cleanse here.
Yeah, cleanse really coming through, and I mean that cake of course was kind of decent in the sense that he was trying to go for a kill, they didn't get that, the Punisher at least was taken out, but overall the Sandwich Monkeys starting to struggle here a bit. Strafe has been taken as a talent on the side of Vala. We're having at the same time now a rotation to the bot lane where a lot of pressure is being executed by Never Lucky. And they are looking strong here. I mean, they're looking really good. They have 2 kills against 0. They have an entire level lead as we speak. And with another Punisher, if they can maybe hit level 13 before the next shrine is activated, they can really start to snowball in this game.
Yeah, I do like the position Never Lucky is in right now, but we still have to keep in mind their composition is really aggressive, and every misstep they make is kind of getting punished a lot by the very defensive lineup with the Shen Barrel and the Malfurion Tranquility, and all those things can basically catch one guy out of position, and Excite being really aggressive there as well.
Yeah, they have also, of course, oh, nice force wall here. Couldn't really capitalize on it. ADRD on the other hand with a very nice ult, only a 12-second cooldown, so no big problem here for them.
One interesting fact at the top right now, look at Joey, he just started pushing the lane, but for some time he was quite just standing there, freezing the lane, just kind of soaking EXP for free, and this basically doesn't allow the team of Never Lucky to soak that wave at the top.
Yeah, we have, by the way, also, of course, a huge focus on Zeratul in the upcoming team fights. That's one of the ults that we definitely have to watch out for. Once that he starts to drop his Void Prison, they are going to try and isolate heroes here. They don't really have a setup in which they can go for a Bubble Burst, try and use the Void Prison and then eliminate the target that is trapped with AoE spells, but they are going to try and isolate maybe the healer in this case, and then of course go for the team fight. So that's definitely something to watch out for as another shrine is approaching. But we're looking exactly at the problem that we talked about earlier. Level 13 is ready for Never Lucky, and the Sandwich Monkeys don't have access to the next talent, which is why they're not even going for their shrine, and instead focus on the bot lane where they claim a camp and could try and eliminate the fort here to gain extra experience for themselves.
It's kind of interesting seeing Vala picking up the strafe in this case. I would have really liked to see her picking the rain against kind of the aggressive composition they are running against, but Larana's getting jumped at the bottom.
Yeah, Lorana's getting jumped here and isolated with a force wall, trying to get away here. Lumpy helping him out. Here comes the barrel on the other hand. Lenara's really low. Kirsten doesn't even have to go for the heal. That is so unfortunate right now for the Sandwich Monkeys. Bad Benny not able to isolate Stitches. And yeah, in this case it didn't gain anything. They couldn't even take the fort down because they were attempting to kill Stitches instead. And now we have 31 minions already claimed at the shrine itself. 13 versus 14 in levels. They can start to move in with the talent, but the chances of them really taking the Punisher are very, very slim.
Yeah, thinking about 8 skeletons, that's basically 1 KT Flame Strike, which would seal them away. And the Void Prison hitting. Yeah,
Void Prison is hitting. They're starting to jump in. They're gonna go for Zeratul on the other hand, but the Ancestral is there. Well played. Malfurion with the Ice Block, but Phelox is only delaying the inevitable. He is down. Yuba attacked. Is maybe able to escape here. That Punisher is going to be taken by Never Lucky, though. 3 kills against 0 in the game, and the Frozen Punisher is now making his way through the mid lane.
Kind of an interesting decision of TSM to still go for the Punisher. I thought like they would just give it up because they did so at the start, but they kind of decided, yeah, the other team is out of position now, we might want to take it, but with only about 10 skeletons remaining to be picked up by Team Never Lucky, Lumpy could just take them on his own with his Flame Strikes.
Yeah, exactly. Easily at that. And once again, they're starting to put the pressure on. The Punisher jumps in deep. They go for the wall. They're going to eliminate at least the 2 towers here. and they find themselves in a great spot. Of course, they need to be a little bit careful that they are
and
not
that's
getting
good.
isolated. There's the cleanse, but in this case, it's not long enough. Wolves is trying to run away, and Thrall might actually escape. Very nice escape thus far, but Juve is there trying to cut him off. Curson with a potential heal. Wolves just saying, I'm going to sacrifice myself here. Moves away, try to at least put some damage out, but in the end, of course, he's going to fall. And this is the first kill that we see in this game for the Sandwich Monkeys.
Yeah, really well played by Bad Benny here to just get an engage going. They cannot really run after the enemy team all the time while being behind. They need to make something happen. Great decision by him to just jump in. He could have used this barrel a little bit better, but in the end it managed to get the pick off against Troll here. And kinda he also barreled away the Rega, so he didn't get into the range of the Ancestral. And yeah, really well played by Bad Benny there.
Yeah, he's in a bit of trouble at the top lane on the other hand now and is really chased down. The rotation is moving in now though. And Curson maybe overstaying here a bit too long. I mean, that was a pretty obvious rotation that happened here against them. Now he's completely isolated. They might even get a kill here if Bad Benny can jump in. But yeah, Lumpy is saving them.
They were really indecisive there.
I feel so too.
Yeah, they saw two people on the map. They didn't know where Thrall was basically. Or Zeratul, sorry, and yeah, now they're getting engaged upon for being that indecisive.
Oh, the hook against Phelox, and they kill the 16 talent, of course. Great for them as well. Now Laranas with the fishing hook, the extra range. The synergy on Rhaegar now with Curson going straight for the Earthgrass totem after on level 1. He already went straight into the Colossal totem. And we're having Zeratul catering a little bit towards his need for sustainability with a stone skin picked on level 16 over the Rending Cleave that we could have potentially seen here.
Yeah, he's going for a more safe approach. He doesn't want to jump in and then basically get caught in the Malfurion route or the Sonya stun to get a lot of damage, and then he could basically just survive that if he gets caught in that situation.
The Sandwich Monkeys, they hit level 16 though, but the Void Prison is there. They're trying to go for a kill. They're moving in already. If they can get the kill here, that would be brilliant. Already a Sundering used on Thrall, and we have Crosby about to be eliminated. Crosby is already down. Lumpy is trying to dish out as much damage as he possibly can with his Phoenix and also the Flame Strikes. The heal is hitting Thrall. Juve rushing away. Malfurion with the Tranquility, saving the rest of the team. But a 5 versus 4 situation now that allows once more Never Lucky to go for the Punisher.
For now, it's kind of the play of who is the more aggressive lineup. It's for sure at the moment the team of Never Lucky, which uses Zeratul as an engage, but if it's the more passive team in this case kinda loses. If you could see, if Team Sandwich Monkeys get engaged upon, Shen basically loses a lot of value, same does Malfurion here. And if they would engage, they would have more space for themselves and maybe get them more careful engage with the barrels, isolating one hero. But yeah, getting engaged upon like that by Zeratul with a nice VP, really well played by Never Lucky here again.
And a good timing too, because it was just when level 16 finally hit for the Sandwich Monkeys, and their hope was of course to use that level 16 talent to force an even talent fight on the Shrine, which is something that was completely denied to them now. So we have again them trying to make something happen here before the Punisher starts to move in. Lumpy is going very aggressively for Vala here, gets completely isolated and taken down. Very good kill. I'm actually not even sure, did he complete his quest talent? Wolves is isolated now on the other hand as well. That would be the double kill right there. They overextend, not waiting for the Punisher, and all of a sudden Never Lucky gets punished.
Yeah, that was a really nice follow-up kick as well by Bad Benny there. And now they're really able to start a comeback maybe. They're only three quarter behind. But Curson also taking down the wall in the middle, just killing the last structures there. And it's still, the structure advantage is pretty hard for Team Never Lucky here. It means basically, if there's going to be a Punisher, Never Lucky could just say, yeah, let's just give that one up, we're going to get 20 in that time, or like, let's take another fight. Because if they lose a Punisher here, it might only get a 4th, and not more than that. But if Sandwich Monkeys lose something now, they might as well look at dropping a keep for them.
I have to say that was a pretty big misplay on the other hand. So the quest talent has been completed, so the damage bonus is there for Kel'Thas, so his death didn't really reset everything. But still, them overextending like this, not waiting for the Punisher, trying to get an early kill against Vala and then ending up losing 2 heroes and not getting a lot of value out of the Punisher. Definitely a bit of a misplay. They were way ahead. Right now, the Sandwich Monkeys have an opportunity to maybe come back into this. Barrel is being used here in the backline. On the other hand, the Void Prison is down. Phoenix and Void Prison both being used. Here comes the Tranquility. Bad Benny still alive, and Phelox is saving him, but Sonya is dead, and that's a huge problem. There's the hook against Phelox. Malfurion finds himself in trouble, trying to deny it with the ice block, but once again only delaying his inevitable death, as IK side is now trying to rush in to maybe claim a 3rd victim, but it is still a 5 versus 3 situation in the game. Nice attempt to slow down Crosby. There's also Rhaegar now with a totem. Crosby is falling, a triple kill for Never Lucky, and that also results in level 20 talents for the red team.
It looked like maybe a good engage for Team Sandwich Monkeys here, but in the end it was basically either Shen or Sonya. Both of them were basically going for the team of Never Lucky, trying to do some DPS there, but in the end, Shen was just dropping too low, got every shield of Tassadar, got the heal over time from Malfurion, and basically they left Sonya on their own, and she died in the end, resulting in a really early pick-off in the fight.
Well, they're trying to go for the keep now before they go for the shrine. 10 seconds until it's gonna be active. Yeah, keep is already eliminated. Arcane Arcane Power has been taken, and they are now, of course, retreating here. Chen not really getting the chance to use a barrel here. There was no opportunity for him. Curson could have still cleansed it out, of course, too. And with a level 20 talent, that's an easy Punisher that they can take right now. It's also interesting that they actually in this case went for the keep at the top. They could have gone for the keep in the mid lane. The Punisher is going to push the mid lane, but they are trying to just eliminate a second keep instead of going for the core. So they made a decision to not take the top keep away, to not take the mid keep away and open up a nice win condition with the Punisher, but instead just claiming one at the top, and now with a win on Punisher or on the shrine in the middle of the map, they could go for the second one.
Yeah, again the skeleton lead really in favor of the team of Never Lucky here, and I do not see Team Sandwich Monkeys picking that one up. They should just retreat, soak towards the bottom, get the level 20, try to get on an even footing, and then maybe try to get an engage with Shen again, which worked out earlier quite well, push them into the keep and do something and get something done. But for now, like the enemy team of Never Lucky is just stealing their camps, making the Punisher go to the keep now, trying to collapse on that one afterwards.
Yeah, we have level 20s coming into play in just a moment, so there we have it. Both the teams again with the Storm talents. The hook attempt already. Double Storm Shield now. Double Hardened Shield for Sonya and also for Chen. Ignore Pain as it's called on Sonya, but still Storm Shields too for Tassadar and for Malfurion. Keep in the mid lane, of course, doesn't really stand a chance against this much pressure, with the Punisher now moving in as well. A huge lead in structures that we're seeing for Never Lucky, and they are in a great position, maybe picking up a kill here. Juve is incredibly low, but they're trying to isolate Laranas with the barrel, not getting that. Phelox is trying to heal the team out. Great triple void that we're seeing here. Can they capitalize on it though? The Punisher is already on the core. Chen jumps in again. Lumpy with a damage output. Bad Benny about to explode. The Ancestral Healing is hitting Kalthas and saves him. 50% on the core, and this looks like GG in game number 3. Never Lucky claims the series against the Sandwich Monkeys and is now moving on to face Mind Sanity in the winner bracket semi-final.